Welcome to my next Mortal Kombat video review. This time we will be checking out Mortal Kombat 1 on PC. I'm gonna be playing this one on an actual DOS PC, not on DOSBox, just to be more authentic. Now this one was published through Acclaim as well and developed by Probe. However, this one is a pretty accurate translation of the arcade version in terms of pretty much everything, which I'm gonna be talking about in more detail in this video. And from all of the home ports, the PC version turned out to be the best. It had all of the content from the arcade, all the violence, all the gore from the original game. In this one you had the fatalities and blood right away. You don't had to input any kind of extra cheat into the game just to be able to get it. I'm gonna be doing a gameplay through, and let's see how the PC version plays. The sound effects in the game are pretty good, although in some cases like jumping, projectile sounds, they are different from the arcade one. The music is pretty much accurate to the arcade version, however it doesn't use CD quality audio, but this version was released on floppy disks only. I think there was no CD version, and therefore it only had MIDI music, which was still good, although a bit different from the original one, nevertheless still great. There was just a small difference. In the arcade you would hear the opponent screaming after they are basically toasted, and it's just sort of missing from this one. As you can see, graphically it looks awesome, everything is there. All of the backgrounds with all of their details are included in this version. The gameplay is exactly the same as it was on the arcade. I think Revision 5 was the last one that was released in the arcades, and this one has the same AI, and you can use the same tactics, combinations and everything. All of the moves for each of the characters have been unaltered, meaning that they are all present in this game as well, and you can perform them just the same way as you have done it in the arcade, including their fatalities. Even the scaling or the size of the characters is exactly the same as it was on the actual arcade. So this means that it's, in my opinion, 100%, or almost 100% due to the different sounds and music in some cases. It's almost like 100% conversion of the arcade version. Graphics are a bit more pixelated than on the arcade version, but I think it's normal, and especially for that time. Although I have to say that it doesn't really take away from the gameplay, that it's just plain VGA in terms of graphics. It still looks awesome. As I said, all of the content from the actual arcade is there in this version as well. And this of course means the secret stuff as well, like Reptile, and you can unlock him or fight against him the same way as you can do it in the arcade, meaning when there are shadows flying over the moon, you need to get a double flawless without blocking, and then perform a fatality on your opponent. And then you will be transferred down to the P button and fight against the green ninja. Now, unfortunately, there are no shadows this time, and well, I haven't played Mortal Kombat 1 in quite some time, so even if there were shadows, I doubt that I could, you know, perform two flawless victories. I need more practice for that. As you can see, the pit fatality is the same, all bodies. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I also wanted to mention that you know, the reptile clues that could be seen in the arcade version as well, and I think they would like be displayed. I mean, one clue would be displayed once every 100 game, which is, you know, that's really rare. Are much more frequently present in the PC version, so you will get it more often. Now, in the arcade version, you should hear, you know, Shang Tsung clapping his hand, but fortunately, it's not there in this version. I'm not sure why they, you know, just left it out. Nevertheless, with the exception of a few missing sound, I can't really think of any, you know, big difference between the arcade version and the PC version. Back in those days, we used to play this, I remember, day and night, especially in two-player mode. Some people thought that, you know, it was more convenient playing on, you know, consoles due to the controllers, but for me, I think Mortal Kombat just plays perfectly on using a keyboard as well. I mean, the initial keyboard layout that came with the game was just, you know, perfect, the default one. And you didn't really have to change that. Nevertheless, when you play in two-player mode on the PC version, and both of you are using the same keyboard, then sometimes there can be problems. Just because you know, the computer cannot handle that many, you know, key presses at the same time, and let's say, I'm not sure what the exact figure is, but I guess around 10 simultaneous button presses maybe, but with the Mortal Kombat you can easily go over that. So yeah, that was a bit annoying sometimes, but still it was a lot of fun. As you can see, all of the bonus stages are in this game as well. Actually, I don't really like this, I never really liked this, and I was glad that they removed it from Mortal Kombat 2 and they weren't included onwards in the arcade game. I pretty much took this as only a filler, you know, and it didn't really add anything to the whole thing, and just basically smash your buttons and that's it. It's no fun. As you can see, the battle plan or the ladder is in the same style as on the arcade, meaning you first have to fight the other 6 opponents, and then in the mirror match go up against yourself, and then you will be transported or fighting the endurance rounds or endurance fights, and after that transported to Goro, and then to fight against Shang Tsung. And as on the arcade version, in the endurance mode, when the second player jumps in, he will be sort of just standing there for 1 or 2 seconds, so you are able to pull off a projectile attack or some kind of special attack against him. I think you couldn't do this in the Genesis version because there the AI sort of reacted right away. It's really annoying when you get cornered in Mortal Kombat 1. As you can see, although I know it's sorry, pretty cheap sometimes, but I tend to use fly kicks a lot. They generally work pretty good against the CPU in Mortal Kombat 1. But I don't think that it will be cheap. It's a valid tactic. I'm fortunate enough to have the actual arcade PCB as well for Mortal Kombat 1, not just Mortal Kombat 2. And I used to play quite a lot on the actual arcade as well. Nevertheless, it's still fun playing the PC version as well. And if you wanna experience Mortal Kombat on different platforms as well, you definitely have to check this out if you haven't already, because it really is that good. Oh, I got lucky there. Usually I don't use to get rid with the spear after the torpedo attack, and there's sort of a glitch. And the color palette changed just by executing Raiden. Never had this glitch before.